Hey, what's up, Chemical Guys family? Today we're going to show you guys how to quickly and easily restore your metal exhaust tips to perfection using our heavy metal polish. So let's get started. Alright guys, so the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to clean the tips with an all-purpose cleaner like Nonsense. Nonsense is a great all-purpose cleaner because it's colorless, it's odorless, it works on paint, glass, chrome, rubber, plastic, vinyl, you name it. It's going to work out great to just clean these up. That way we can start with the polishing process. So I'm going to spray them down. I'm also going to spray onto a microfiber towel. And I'm just gently going to wipe down the surface. Don't worry about, knocking off every single thing because you're not going to be able to remove any of the staining. So just worry more about cleaning the tips from what you could, from all the carbon buildup. And whenever you're done with that, we'll move on to the polishing step. That way we can remove all the stains and the smudges and any kind of embedded dirt that makes its way onto the surface of your metal tips. All right guys, so we just finished cleaning up the tips and just check it out. This is all the carbon buildup that has accumulated on these metal exhaust tips. And as you guys can see, they're pretty bad. So luckily now that they're all clean, now they are ready to start being polished. So the next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put this towel to the side as well as my Nonsense all-purpose cleaner. And then we're gonna pull out a bottle of heavy metal polish. Now, heavy metal polish is a great metal polish that's gonna do an incredible job at taking care of all the built up oxidation and carbon buildup, all the stuff that stains your tips or your metal surfaces. This is gonna do an incredible job at just reviving it and bringing it back to life. Now, before you use it, one thing I did want to show is there is a slight separation of the product whenever it sits. So before you use any Chemical Guys product, just make sure to stir it up very nicely and you're all good to go. Now, the next product that we're gonna be using is our ball buster drill attachment. Now, this right here is an attachment that connects to any standard power drill. It does have a foam composition and it's also kind of in a cone-like shape. That way it makes it easier for you to get deep into your tips or any kind of intricate areas. Now, this attachment is not just for tips, that you can actually use it for wheels as well and any other metal surfaces that you feel like this application can work out great for. And the great thing about this tool is that it has this little piece right here that allows you to kind of control where you're polishing as you're polishing. So instead of it just going and spinning all crazy and you have no, control or direction of where it's going, this stem right here actually lets you control it because it doesn't spin. So whenever you put onto your drill and you're spinning at a high speed, it's not gonna go all crazy with you. So all you have to do is simply stick it in, make sure it's tightened, and you're all ready to polish. Now, to set up your ball buster, what I recommend doing is obviously shaking the product, but instead of just going all crazy coating it, what I like to do is I like to start off with 2 lines of product. As you guys can see right there, 2 lines of product. And instead of just me just shoving it in there and turning it on and just all this product flinging all over the place, instead what you want to do is you want to go ahead and grab, well, make sure you're wearing gloves for this process, but just work in the cream into the foam attachment. That way, whenever you start polishing, it's not just gonna fling up on you and fling all over your vehicle. And just make sure that you do this very thoroughly and you're all good to go. Now, the next thing that we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and simply stick it in. And then I like to start off on the low speed setting, just kind of spread it out a little bit. And then once it's all fully spread out evenly, then you can turn it on to a higher speed setting and then polish it to perfection. So right now, I'm gonna start on the left exhaust tip right here. Show you guys how perfect it is compared to the right side that we haven't polished. So make sure to stay tuned. You don't want to miss these results. All right guys, now that we're done polishing, I'm gonna set my drill down with the ball buster. And I'm simply gonna grab a separate dry microfiber towel and we're gonna start buffing off the excess of the heavy metal polish. And we're just gonna do our best job at just, getting deep in there and make sure that we extract all the polish cream that's still left on there. And as you guys can see, or I don't know if you guys saw, but I did put the ball buster pretty deep into the exhaust tips because I wanna make sure that not just the tips look great, but the inner part as well. So right now I'm just gonna finish buffing it off and check this out, you guys. If you guys come up for a closer look, one thing you'll realize is that the left side, it's sparkling, it's clean, and it has a beautiful reflection versus the right side, which we've only cleaned and not polished. It's all yellow, it's oxidized, it looks hazy, and it doesn't have the full 100% shine. All right, guys, so as you guys can see, we just finished polishing the inside of the left tip and it looks incredible compared to the right side. But there is something that we did completely forget about, which is the outside of the tip as well. So to polish the outside, I like using a towel just because sometimes whenever the tips are very close by to the bumper, you have very limited access in between. So using a towel, which is almost paper thin, is great because you can go ahead and just kind of shimmy it left and right to polish out those hard to reach places. So in this case, I'm gonna grab some heavy metal polish and I'm just gonna apply like about 2 drops onto this corner of the towel. And then same thing, we're just gonna massage that into the microfibers. That way, you know, we don't have a heavy blob of product on one area and not so much on another. And then we're simply just gonna go ahead and glide this left and right. We're just gonna work it in kind of like a cream, just left, right, up, down. You can also go circular motions in this case, because you are working on a very, very durable surface like metal here. And then for these hard to reach places, what I like to do is I like to open up my towel. And remember, I have my heavy metal polish applied to this area of the towel. So what I'm gonna do right now is I'm just gonna go ahead and stick it into the top. And I'm just gonna shimmy it left and right to get this hard to reach area that I can't get to with a microfiber applicator or, you know, with my fingers in there. And then once you're done, feel free to flip your towel to a dry side and then buff off any excess residue of the heavy metal polish. And you should be all done. You shouldn't really have anything else to do. That is basically the gist of restoring your tips or any other metal surfaces around your vehicle. It's that easy. It's just a matter of cleaning it and polishing it with our Chemical Guys heavy metal polish. Now we do have a light metal polish as well, which contains no abrasives. So for all you guys out there who have metals that are not so neglected, maybe it's a better looking metal or a plastic chrome. You know, a lot of newer cars utilize that plastic chrome material. Our light metal polish is going to work out great because it contains no abrasives that could damage the material. So for maintenance, go with light metal polish. For extra deep heavy restoration, heavy metal polish is going to be what you're looking for. So right now what I'm going to do is I'm going to polish the right side and then I'll be right back with you guys for the final step, which is preserving your results. So we're going to be utilizing that with our Hydro Slick ceramic coating hyper wax. So don't go anywhere. I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this up and I'll show you guys how to use this on your metal tips. All right, guys, so now that we have both tips polished to perfection, now we want to preserve these incredible results. Now, a great way to do that is by applying a ceramic coating like Hydro Slick. Now, Hydro Slick is a ceramic coating hyper wax. So what that means basically, in other words, is a ceramic coating in a wax form. So for all you guys out there who are familiar with applying carnauba waxes to your car, you guys know that yellow cream that you apply, wax on, wax off. Same application, just different technology. So this utilizes our ceramic SiO2 nanotechnology versus carnauba wax, which obviously utilizes carnauba oils to give your car a nice clean shine and a layer protection. This right here takes your shine and protection 100 times to the max. So this is going to do an incredible job to preserve these tips. And it's very easy to apply. Like I said, you apply it just like a wax. So what you want to do is you want to apply a very small amount. In this case, I'm going to apply 3 drops onto my microfiber applicator. And then what I like to do here is I like to kind of work in the product into the microfibers. And this is just to kind of ensure that the product, it goes into the microfiber strands and you're not just wasting the product whenever you set it down or anything. So right now I just like to work it in very thoroughly. And then we're just gonna apply a nice coat all throughout the tips right here. So we're gonna coat the outside, the inside. And what this is really meant for is to preserve the tip. So what I mean by that is, there's no such thing as these tips staying looking great forever, but there is a way that we can overall minimize the amount of work that it's going to take to maintain these tips. So by applying the ceramic coating onto the tips, this is going to help prevent a lot of carbon buildup and any kind of deposits from embedding themselves into the tips itself. That way they stay shining and looking cleaner for a lot longer than they would if we were just to finish off with the heavy metal polish and nothing else. Now, one quick question I do want to address is a lot of you guys have questions about heavy metal polish itself. Now, heavy metal polish, it does protect to an extent because it does have a built-in sealant, but whenever you are polishing metal or any kind of paint work or anything like that, it's always best to just over layer it with another protectant. In this case, I'm double layering it with some Hydro Slick just to make sure that the tips look great for a lot longer. So now that's basically sat for about 30 seconds or so, now you can go ahead and wipe it off with a microfiber towel. And that's the beauty about Hydro Stick, is that it takes a very little amount of time for it to flash, and then you can go ahead and wipe it right off. And the great thing about Hydro Stick is that you can apply it onto a multitude of surfaces all around your car, including paint, glass, chrome, wheels, headlights, tail lights, you name it. It's gonna work out great for all those different surfaces. And just like that, we're all done. I'm just wrapping up, wiping off the residue from this top little area right here. And one thing you will notice after wiping off the Hydro Slick is that the surface, it's extremely slick, and that's exactly what we're looking for. So any kind of things that land on this, like whether it be dirt, grime, carbon buildup, or even water, it's gonna help, the coating is gonna help repel that stuff from sticking. That way it stays looking better for longer. And that's gonna wrap it up for this video. As you guys can see, we just showed you guys how to quickly and easily restore your metal exhaust tips to perfect and brand new using our heavy metal polish, our ball buster drill attachment, and last but not least, our Hydro Slick ceramic coating hyper wax. So if you guys enjoyed these results, make sure to give us a huge like, subscribe if you haven't done so already, and of course, if you guys want to pick up any of the products that you guys seen on today's video, they're going to be linked in the description and in the pinned comment down below. And if you prefer to pick it up in person, make sure to check out the link in the description to find your local detail garage store. As always, my name is Joey. This is Chemical Guys. We'll see you on the next episode.